Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review. The new Little Dragon record, Nabuma Rubberband. These guys are a Swedish pop quartet. This is their fourth full-length album. And if you give a listen to this record, their last record, you're going to catch a lot of very smooth, danceable, synthetic beats, topped by one of the best vocalists in what we currently know as electropop, Yukimi Nagano. A singer so talented with such a distinct voice, it has landed her and her band numerous collaborations recently. Her voice sounds amazing there, it sounds amazing on Little Dragon stuff, very soulful, very sweet. Occasionally her voice reminds me of singers like KLAPP, for example, but maybe Yukimi is much more smooth and sensual and sleek. There was even a bit of a neo-soul vibe to Little Dragon's earlier stuff that reminded me of Erykah Badu a little bit. However, from this debut record, Little Dragon moved into much poppier, sharper, more colorful territory with their sophomore album, Machine Dreams. And then a few years ago, with Ritual Union, the emphasis came off of the choruses and instead went into the beats, went into the grooves, kind of making them progressive, more linear, instrumentally bringing the songs more in line with electronic dance music, which actually made these songs really fitting for the live setting where Little Dragon would expand some of them and turn them into jams. And for the most part, they are repeating that formula on this latest LP of theirs. There isn't much in the way of musical contrast between the verses and the choruses on this LP. But just like with Ritual Union, I think it's also done to keep these songs kind of linear in structure and formation. Like on the song Only One, which has a very, very, very atmospheric, ethereal intro, which is one of the moodiest points on the entire record. And then this track, which for the most part was rhythmless up until the end point of the song, suddenly busts into this hard-nosed techno beat that brings the track to a close. It's definitely one of the cooler moments on the entire LP. I just wish Little Dragon had the ambition to make it into something larger. And that's the thing, on this entire LP, Little Dragon's moves, their compositions in these songs, they're not large, they're not huge, they're not ambitious. Their moves across these tempos, across these grooves are very small, they're very subtle, which worked on Ritual Union, a set of tracks where the melodies were really sticky, the beats and the grooves were captivating or undeniable or really attention-grabbing. However, I don't think those characteristics follow through 100% on this latest record. Like with the first single to drop off this LP, KLAPP KLAPP. Yukimi's vocal acrobatics across this song are great, from the harmonized vocals on the chorus to her vocal improvs toward the middle of the song where she's singing, "You know you want it, ooh." But the beat doesn't really do anything more than just serve as a foundation. Instrumentally, I think a lot of tracks on this record are devoid of any gripping ideas, and especially the full band live and lively sound that I've come to expect and have enjoyed from previous records, which actually would have made it easier to get lost in some of these grooves. Take the song Killing Me, for example. This track, to me, like many other songs on here, sounds like something that could have been put together by a producer and Yukimi collaborating, not really the full band that I know Little Dragon is. And they have a great drummer, and not that I necessarily prefer real drums to electronic drums necessarily, it's just that the beats on this thing are hardly a replacement. Like with the title track on this LP, which has this really slow 3/4 time signature going on, and the song sort of plods through this sub-bass snare pattern that it just rotates through over and over and over and over, occasionally swapping a snare for a clap. And this groove gets boring before even the 1 minute mark of the song is hit. And the instrumental just lacks the humanity and the sensuality that I think would complement Yukimi's voice really well, even with strings being laced into this thing. I think the same problem comes up on the song Pink Cloud too. Just everything sounding too static, too rigid, too cold, too stagnant. The most single-worthy track on this entire LP is the song Paris. It features one of the only beats on this entire LP that I don't think someone could sleep through, and Yukimi's vocals are actually much more lively on this track in comparison with other songs. It's also got a lot of bright synth leads bouncing throughout the track too, and really this is the only track on the entire LP that I would call truly single-worthy, because so many songs on this record lack significant musical and rhythmic development beyond whatever ideas are introduced toward the beginning of the track, making some of these songs feel kind of repetitive, more like motifs than a well-crafted tune with multiple distinct parts. Like the song Pretty Girls, which is a pretty song, but not that memorable. Or the song Mirror, which cuts out immediately after the first major change in the track, which introduces some very heavy rhythms. I would chalk that up to it being kind of an intro, but it's just about as long as other tracks on this record. There's the song Cat Rider, which is very atmospheric, it's beautiful, it's a patient song, it's very ethereal, and I think it features one of the most beautiful vocal performances from Yukimi on the entire record. Really moving and soft stuff. However, I would be lying via omission if I didn't say that I feel like the instrumental could have done more. I feel like the track could be more than this structurally. And really, that's kind of how I feel about this record as a whole. I really enjoy the sounds for the most part. I enjoy the vibe. I enjoy Yukimi's voice. And I think there are some good songs, some very good songs, hidden throughout this track list as well. The issue for me is that they're presented through a lot of this dull, humdrum, repetitive instrumentation that weakens the pop appeal of these tracks and causes a lot of them just to fall into the back of my subconscious as they're playing before the end of the song even comes. I'm feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this thing. Transition. If you've given this record a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Also, click on my face to head over to Dominic Rayburn's lovely channel, who actually animated this little end slate that you're seeing right now. Forever.